Everyone tells you you're so busy. Your friends, your family, your coworkers, and you kind of shrug it off like, I know. But here's the part that you won't admit out loud, in that you're the one keeping yourself busy, not because you have to, but because being busy feels safer than being still. And if you're wondering, who in the world is this woman to tell me about me? Well, good morning, good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Self Love Sundays with Sass. I am Tarnisha Mo Sass, your host of Self Love Sundays with Sass. I'm your certified vision strategist coach who comes every single Sunday so we can talk about all the ways in which we can better our best. And I'm going to tell you, about 7 years ago, I was that woman that was so busy being busy, getting busy on everything. And I stopped living like this. And I started saying yes to no actually I started saying yes to the things that I love and stopped saying yes to everybody else. And I stopped hiding behind my busyness. And I created this talk for the woman who's still busy, so busy and running. Yes, I said it, because I know exactly why you can't stop, and I know what it's costing you. And so let me just paint this for you. It's Sunday. Either one or two things are happening right now. Either you're getting ready to be bedside Baptist for church or getting ready for church. But either way, you're not present. You're thinking about all the things that you have to do on Monday, the laundry, emails piling up, the errands that you need to run, even after service. So even if you're sitting in church, you're not fully present, trying to be there for the Lord, probably present during worship. But when the preacher starts to preaching, your mind gets to start wondering. Or you skip church altogether. And you know what? Guess what else we get to do? Oh no, we're either, especially if we're, high achieving women, we're either mentoring someone or leading some committee somewhere or coordinating some fundraiser. And don't forget, after work, when you're extremely exhausted, when you just kind of want to go home and relax, you don't. Either you go to the network event because everyone else is going, or you're running because someone needs you to do something and you have to show up because saying no feels wrong. Oh, and let me not get started on your calendar. It is color coded. It is filled to the brim. Every hour is accounted for. Or if you're like me, it got to the point where I was so busy being busy, I forgot to put things on the calendar. And so I double booked myself and I missed appointments and I forgot commitments, but not for everybody else, not for the kids, not for my ex husband, because I'm now divorced, but for me. I forgot my stuff. And if I was double booked, I chose them over me. I would just reschedule me. Does that sound familiar? And when somebody asks you how you are, I'm just busy. I'm busy. Work is crazy. I am busy. With that tired laugh, as if it's a badge of honor. But let me ask you something. When was the last time you did something just because you wanted to? Not because it was productive, because I know my productivity girls, or somebody needed you, or not because it moved you closer to a goal, but just the last time you did something for you. You probably can't remember. When was the last time you actually had a real conversation with your partner? I had to understand this in my divorce, okay? Not about logistics, not about the calendar, not about where the kids need to be, but about, and not about who's doing what, right? Not about that. What are you going to do? Are you going to do this? Are you going to run the kids here? A real conversation about how you're actually doing. Or did you never do those things? So therefore, you don't even know how to. But in the beginning, maybe in the courting stage or the dating phase, you did. But now there's no more of those conversations. When was the last time you actually said yes to something spontaneous that wasn't on the calendar? A last minute dinner, a last minute road trip, a concert that you didn't plan 6 weeks in advance. Because I get it, I was the planner. Everything had to be planned. And don't get me wrong, there's some greatness in planning, because those people who just fly by the CJ pants with all the wind, that's not necessarily a good thing either. I know they love to wear that as a badge of honor too. It is not. But when was the last time you actually sat with a friend and you weren't mentally running through your to-do list? Like, you actually allowed yourself to be present and not scrolling on the phone or not thinking about everything else. And I get it. If you're this type of friend, you probably have the people who come and they want to dump on you for about an hour, and you want to be there for them because that's who you've built yourself to be, but you're still not present. And then you're looking on social media and you see your friends are gathering, or or couples going on dates, and you're wondering, like, dang, nobody's asked me, well, when is the last time you went on a date? But why would he ask you? Because you're too tired. or you have work to finish, or you have laundry to do, and you got to do this for the kids and that for the kids. And your friends, you're always busy. And every time you talk to them, you make sure to tell them that you're so busy. You're so busy with work. You're so busy with your mentor. You're so busy with your volunteer. You're so busy, 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 busy. Why am I going to keep asking you? And then you tell yourself, oh, when I slow down, I'm going to make time for myself. But you never slow down. That doesn't exist. And you don't slow down. Things never slow down because you don't let them, and you don't see that right now. What's really happening? You can't do anything for yourself anymore. Spontaneity, you can't do anything that feels good because everything for you has to be productive, purposeful, or moving you towards some new goal that you set. But when was the last time you just allowed yourself to live? When was the last time you laughed? And I just thought of this too. When was the last time you laughed until your stomach hurt? Man, because I just did that. Actually, it was funny. The last time I really, really did it was when I jumped out the plane in November. I laughed like a crazy person jumping out of a plane. You jump out of a plane, you might get a little get a little crazy, okay? But laughing like nobody's business. When was the last time you actually felt free? Or do you go home at night and collapse on the couch after you've done everything for everybody else? And like, man, is this really all there is? Scrolling on social media, looking at everybody else's life, looking at other women, like, man, they seem so light, so free, and so joyful. And like, dang, go on, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? Do you volunteer for things you don't even want to do? Because saying no makes you think you are selfish. How many times have you gone somewhere and done something for somebody you just really did not want to do? But you did it anyway. You did it with a smile on your face. Your energy was off. You don't know that part. It was, but you had a smile on your face. Hmm. But I'm going to tell you something today, and I need you to hang with me because I know it's going to feel a little heavy, but I just need you to know I know what you're really afraid of. That if you stop being busy, people would stop needing you. And if people stop needing you, what would be left? If your kids stop needing you, if your husband stopped needing you, if your friends stopped needing you, what would be left? Or the mentorship or the volunteer or the church, what would be left? Because somewhere along the line, somewhere along the way, you mistake being busy as your identity. So it became your identity. If I'm busy, then I'm valuable. If I'm busy, I'm important. If I'm busy, I'm worthy. And your husband, like, honey, you're so busy. And you're like, this is a badge. But if you're busy for everyone else, you're not busy for your family. And I don't mean you're supposed to be busy for your family. You're supposed to be present for your family. And that's what I meant to say. If you're so busy for everyone, you're not present. And then the question is, if you're not busy, who are you? And then, is the busyness that you're doing actually producing the life that you actually want? Not one that looks good on paper and one that looks good on social media as you're shuffling the kids in the car or you're taking them wherever you are and you're posting and everybody has a cute little picture. No, but when was the last time you woke up, you actually felt alive? Like, yo, I am excited for this day. When you're actually present with the people that you love, like really present, not thinking about anything else, but just in the moment. When was the last time you were in the moment? Where you do things that just bring you joy, even if it's just skip. You know, something that's so funny. I was telling somebody I went out to a restaurant and I was talking to this guy about frolicking, and he's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, yes, just skipping and just doing something that brings joy." Where's your inner child? But are you staying busy so you don't have to face the fact that you're just not happy and that you're exhausted and that the things that you felt good about yesterday you don't feel good about today because it's not you anymore. But you've forgotten how to live for yourself. So here's what I need you to hear. The life you're living, you were never designed to live in the first place. That's why it doesn't feel good. And you can go get all the time management, productivity hacks, and self-discipline you want, but it's not going to fix the problem because the problem isn't how you're spending time. The problem is you don't know what you actually want your life to feel like. Everybody's telling you, set boundaries. You need to say no, girl, you need to prioritize yourself. But you know what they're not telling you? I'm going to tell you this today. You can't set boundaries if you don't know what you're protecting. You can't say no if you don't know what you're saying yes to. What do you want to say yes to in your life? You can't prioritize yourself if you don't even know who you are outside of what you do. That's why nothing is working. That's why going to the personal development places, going here, going there, listening to the YouTube, doing this, doing that, fix the calendar, feng shui, minimalize, throw this out, color code this, it's not working. How can it? You don't know what you want. You don't even know who you are outside of those things. And I'm going to tell you something that I had to do, which is you have to stop. Not for a day, not for a weekend where you could just catch up on the laundry and meal prep yourself to death. Oh, listen, I taught fitness for 10 years. So I understand my fitness girlies too. Because that's why we look so good. Because we do wake up, we work out. You know, they think, oh, that's taking care of myself. You're really working out to escape, not because it brings you joy. But you have to stop long enough to ask yourself, what do I want my life to feel like? Not what you want to accomplish, not what you want or need people to think. Because Lord knows, don't get me started in that. But how do you want to feel when you wake up in the morning? Do you want to be peaceful? Do you want to be present? Do you want to be free? I remember just wanting to feel free. I would sit on my deck and watch these birds for hours. And like, do you want to be a whole person or just these scattered fragments of yourself? Your fragments are all over the place. And then you wonder why you're not feeling connected. You don't feel connected to people because you're fragmented. When you're fragmented and you have pieces of you all over the place, you can never feel connected. But the question is, do you want to? And this is exactly why I created my retreat. I created this retreat designed to win because I wanted a place where women can stop wanting long enough to figure out what they're actually running towards. You're just chasing your tail. You're running around in a circle. You don't even know. You keep setting goal after goal and wondering why it doesn't. Like every time you hit a new goal, you just, oh, what's next? What's next? What's next? That's why you don't really understand what you're running towards. And so I'm going to tell you what we're going to do while we're there. First things first, we're going to get honest. We're going to get honest about what busy is really costing you because right now you don't see the cost. It costs me. I'm divorced. It costs me. And I'm not saying that you're going to be divorced. Absolutely not. I'm not saying that your business will even get you there. But there were some things that I didn't understand. So it cost me some things. And I'm not even saying I should still be in that marriage. I want to be clear about that. And not that it was super, super bad. No, it's not the point. The point is it costs me. The relationships you're missing, the moments you're not present for that you think you're on your kids. Mom, can you hear me? Honey, did you hear me? Everybody's asking, did you hear me? You see me? No, you missed it because you weren't present. The version that you've lost, listen, the version of yourself you've actually lost because you're so busy running for everybody else. And we're going to name it in that room. We're going to name it out loud in a room full of women who get it, who actually get it. Either they got it because they've been through it or they're going through it right now. So they understand you. Second, we're deciding what actually matter, not what your job demands or what everyone expects of you. No, what do you want? And what do you want for this season of your life? Because this is another thing that happens, especially if you're in your 40s, to 50s, mid 50s. It's not about what you wanted at 25. I get it. At the time, it looked good and it felt good to go after that thing. But we're in a different season, especially if you're perimenopausal or menopausal at this point. It's not about what you wanted 5 years ago. 5 years ago was a different season. Things have changed. And so you're trying to open new doors with the same old thoughts, the same old movements, the same old business. It's not working. What do you want in this season of life? And we're going to get specific because just I want to be happy isn't enough. Do you want more spontaneity? Do you want connection? Do you want peace? Do you want freedom financially or emotionally? What do you want? We're going to name it in the room. And then we're going to align. The last thing we're going to do is align your life to it. You're going to start to ask yourself, if I say yes to this, is it serving the woman that I'm becoming? Is it in alignment with who I say I want to be? Or is it just because I've always done it? Because you know what? We all are consistently doing something. When you talk about consistency and habits, oh, you have them. You're very consistent in doing whatever it is that you've been doing. But the question is what you've been doing actually making you happy? But in that room, we're going to make real decision. We're going to make decision about what stays and what goes and what changes. And I get that it's not going to be easy because the hardest thing about change is waking up the next day doing something different. And let me tell you something else I get about you. You've done retreats before. You've probably gone to all the workshops and read all the books. But I'm going to tell you why this is different. Because I'm not going to give you more to do in the retreat. It's not about doing more. We're going to actually help you figure out what you need to stop doing. We're not going to teach you how to manage it all better. You can't manage it all better, but we're going to help you decide what really deserves your energy in the first place. What are you giving your energy to that no longer deserves your energy? Do you even know what you deserve? That's the question. And we're going to do it in a room with 15 powerful women. I decided that there's going to be 15 powerful women who are tired of just performing. They're tired just as much as exhausted, just as much as you are. And that's why there's going to be no judgment in that room. There's not going to be no judgment for admitting that you're not happy. I had to get to a place where I had to walk in to a retreat similar and say, listen, I'm not happy. And people were like, what? Because people on the outside would be like, what do you mean you're successful and you still feel empty? Because success to them meant, oh, you make six figures, you own your own home, your kids are doing well. That's everything else and everybody else. That's everything outside of me. But there are going to be women in here who are going to understand you can still be successful on paper and still feel empty. But I'm also know something else about that success too, because just because you make the money don't mean you have the money. Because I also understand that when you are a person that gives everything of yourself away, you probably have been given that away too. And so you don't have the nest egg that you necessarily need for yourself. And I'm telling you, I know this because just 7 years ago, it was me. I was saying yes to everything, checking off all the boxes, look successful on paper. You look on the social media to see me with my kids, and they're going here, there, travel cheer, travel softball, travel baseball. I did it all, but I was miserable. And I didn't stop because I figured it out on my own. I stopped because I hit a wall. And I realized I was living a life that I never chose. It was what everybody else wanted for me, and I was going through the motions. And it was a life that wasn't serving me anymore. I was changing. I was growing into something different. But that's when everything changed. I had to get myself away and in a room and in a place that actually really challenged me, not to manage it all better, but to help me actually make real decisions. I didn't get more disciplined. No, I didn't go find a better planner. I actually asked myself, what do I actually want? And then I decided. And the decision, let me tell you something, the most powerful thing you can do in this world is understand that you have options. And the options comes when you make a decision, and that one decision can change everything. So if I'm telling you right now, if you're the person that your family and friends are constantly telling you you're too busy and you shrug it off, or if you can't remember the last time you did something spontaneous, or if you can't remember the last time you sat in a room and didn't feel alone in a crowded room full of people, or you weren't constantly distracted or looking at other people's lives saying, oh my God, man, how, like, look at their marriage or their friendships, and you want to feel lighter, freer, and more joyful. I'm telling you, this retreat is for you. It's going to be April 30th through May 2nd, 2026. It's going to be held here in Pennsylvania. It's going to be for 15 powerful women. I have 6 seats left because I'm telling you, what you're going through isn't going to fix itself, and it's not going to get better when you slow down. Slowing down doesn't really exist. I haven't necessarily slowed down. I am doing the things that I love, and I listen, and what brings me joy and what fulfills me. I made a decision, and you're going to have to decide too. In the retreat is where you're going to get to make those decisions. Because the truth is, you spent years being busy, and where has it gotten you? Exhausted, distracted, and missing out on your own life. Sure, everybody else around you may be happy, but are you? And you have a choice right now. You can either allow yourself to keep doing the same things over and over again, hoping for a different result, waiting for the world to change, keep chasing that goal after goal after goal, and never feeling fulfilled, never feeling happy. Or you can just say, you know what, I'm gonna take 2.5 days and get myself in a room with women who understand and get me and understand what it is that I'm going through. And I'm gonna decide a life where I feel great about me in the morning. I feel great about my decisions and my choices. And I'm doing things that's helping me go towards that life, not doing the same things over and over and over and over again. Always are not going to open new doors. I don't care who you are. And here's what I'm going to say to you, that's if you want to change, because people who really want change, they change. People who really want change get themselves in these rooms. People who really want it, they don't let anything stop it. That's who I was. I promise you. Nobody had to convince me of anything. When I heard something that I knew that was going to help me get to the place that I really wanted to be, I took myself up on it and I did that thing. And so if you're ready, I just need you to put in the comments you're ready. And then you can book a call with me. There's going to be a link here, or you can go to www.mosass.com. You can see the retreats there, the retreat there. Actually, I'm telling you, it's gonna be a game changer. But you also can't let business be the reason you missed the life you were. You know, it's so crazy. I'm so busy doing everything for everybody else that doesn't bring me fulfillment, that I'm not going to show up for myself and get the actual thing that I want, which is to start feeling fulfilled, to be free. You have to ask yourself if you really want it for real, though. And if you do, it's going to be in that room, April 30th to May 2nd. And I can't wait to see you. And I can't wait to see you next Sunday. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please share this with somebody you know who is always busy, being busy, that may need this for themselves. And I love you so much. And I will talk to you next week. Bye now.